Take a move in the ring. You can hit me with the words you fling.
All right, yeah, it's Nick Atkin from South China Morning Post, and this is the post-fight podcast from SCMP MMA. Today, I am joined by the CEO of the World Lethwei Championship, Gerald Ng. Gerald, what's going on, mate?
Hi, thanks for having me. I hope everybody in your part of the world is doing well. I'm excited to be talking about Lethwei today, and excited to be talking to you.
Yeah, well, obviously I'm in Hong Kong. Things are okay here with the coronavirus lockdown being eased as things start to get as close to normal as they can be, while safety measures are still being implemented. But yeah, how's everything? You're over in Myanmar, right? Is what's going on there with the coronavirus safety protocols? Any updates you can give us?
Yeah, I'm currently based in Yangon, Myanmar. We were supposed to have an event in April that we postponed. And it was probably the right call. Seeing how things developed, things are slowly getting back to normal here, and there hasn't been that big a surge in cases, and I think that's a good thing. And we look forward to getting back to business.
Yeah, tell me a bit, because you guys were supposed to have your first ever international show. You were going to move out of your base in Myanmar for the first time and have a show in Cambodia, I think, in April. But then obviously the coronavirus hit. You can't really prepare for a global pandemic, can you? But tell us a little bit about the frustrations of that.
Yeah, I mean, we had everything ready to go. We announced ticket sales. We've had a sponsor. We had all the fighters lined up. The fans were so excited. Even like we sold tickets for maybe 2 days, and we already had tons of ticket sales during that first 2 days. And back then it wasn't that bad yet, and I was still pushing to just continue with the show in February, and my board put me into a meeting and said, we can see how this is going. It's probably best we postpone this. And turns out they were right. But we are committed to completing this show to fulfill our obligation to the fans in Cambodia and make Phnom Penh the first international city to host a World Lethwei Championship event. And we're looking to do that sometime in September.
That's great. I'm hoping I'll be able to go there, because I haven't been to Phnom Penh yet, and I haven't seen Lethwei live yet. So that sounds like two things I can tick off, two birds with one stone, maybe. Yeah, let's see. Hopefully it's safe and I can get over there by then. But it sounds like it could be a while before you're allowed to have fans in the arenas and things like that. Is that something, you think you've just got to put up with for another year perhaps? Or what time frame do you think you're looking at in terms of getting fans back into arenas?
Yeah, I think the biggest challenge for not having fans is not really the organization. For us, yeah, it's a loss of revenue, but the biggest difference this makes is for the fighters. The fact that there are nobody there might change their motivations and how they compete. And we are going to try to adapt to that, try to maybe pipe in some crowd noise, maybe put cardboard figures of fans in attendance. But yeah, this seems like this is going to be the new normal for a bit, and we're working around it, and we're committed to getting back to putting on live shows again.
That's awesome, man. I know, just tell everyone a little bit about what you guys do with World Lethwei Championship, because everyone knows mixed martial arts increasingly, but Lethwei is obviously a little bit different. It's 9-limbed, isn't it? You can use your head. There's a little more leeway for fighters. It's even more violent, even more bloody, isn't it?
When people ask me to describe Lethwei, I always say this is like the truest form of striking martial arts. Sure, mixed martial arts is good at studying each other's different. It's like a chess match, but for a striker, if you're a boxer, kickboxer, sambo guy, then Lethwei is the ultimate place for you to test your skills, because of the array of weapons available to you. You can punch, you can kick, you can knee, you can elbow, and you can headbutt. And that combination creates a very exciting recipe for the in-ring product.
Yeah, and you have one of the most famous fighters in the game in your organization, don't you, Dave Leduc? Obviously a real character, and he is one of your champions. Just how great is it to have someone like Dave who is such a good ambassador for the sport?
Yeah, I don't think you can overstate how much Dave has done for the sport. Fighting is one thing, but I think what he's done outside of the ring is way more important than what he's done inside the ring. Going to get on the Joe Rogan podcast to talk about Lethwei and going all around the world to do Lethwei seminars, that's never been done before. And it fits perfectly in line with our vision as a company, which is to grow the infrastructure of the sport globally. We want to get to that place where there are Lethwei classes and Lethwei gyms in every small town in Europe, in Africa, in North America. And he's doing that right now. So he's really helping us achieve what we set out to achieve in growing the sport globally.
Awesome. Yeah, you may have just heard some of the music flashing up there. I'm trying to show some highlights of what you guys are all about. This is your show, Ancient Warriors. When was this show? Sorry, I'm going to bring up.
This was actually our second show. It was our first time we did an indoor show, and this was back in 2017. Yeah. We've done 10 shows since then, but we're putting up a lot of content from our past events on our YouTube channel to give people something to watch during this time.
Okay. Excuse the technical difficulties, everyone. Should be up now. Yeah. This is the kind of action you can expect at a WLC show, huh?
Yeah, it's really fast-paced. The guys go for the knockouts. It's exciting. It's it's one of the most exciting styles of combat sports that you can watch.
Yeah, man. I've got to get over to the next one. It's a shame about. It's probably going to be difficult, but. So yeah, how many shows have you had now? This is it's been, you restarted it a couple of years ago. Is that right?
Yeah, we did our first show in 2017, and we've done 11 shows now, mostly in Myanmar. Done it in different cities across Myanmar. And the future for the sport now is the plan to do international shows, beginning with Cambodia that I mentioned before. But initially, we planned 2020 to be the year where we will expand into different markets. And we were supposed to do a show in Thailand, in Japan, in the US, and in Cambodia. And it looks like we could probably only be able to do one out of the four. But the other 3 cities, international cities that we are looking into, we are going to do them in 2021.
So you told me before this, but please, just say everyone else, where are you going to be doing this, the first show in the US?
We're looking to legalize the sport in 50 states, and the way the commissions work there, we have to get Lethwei legalized in each state individually, and it's a long process, and we want to get there one day. For our first show, it looks likely that we'll do it in Miami. The commission in Florida has been really welcoming, and they really we're working closely with them to get the rules legalized. And yeah, Miami is the perfect market. We already have a stadium partner. We already have sponsors. So I'm excited to get there and do a show.
I'm imagining you might have Dave Leduc on that card if you're looking to present yourselves to the US market. Yeah,
for sure. We'll bring a couple of Burmese guys just to add some diversity. Dave is going to be on that card. And you can also expect to see a lot of prominent names from the world of mixed martial arts on that card.
Well, let's have a little look at Dave. I'm bringing up his fight, title defense against Seth Basinski. Let's get this on the screen. So I last spoke to Dave just before this fight, and successful defense in the end, wasn't it?
Let's get up and let's get ill that way, fam.
Talk us through a little bit.
Championship.
Yeah, this is the first time Dave fought a more experienced guy. The first time he's fought a bigger guy, so it was seen as quite a challenge. I really liked the matchup. I thought it was a real test for Dave. He keeps getting criticism of his fighting smaller guys. So this time he gives up a significant size disadvantage to a guy who's been in brawls before. Seth Brzezinski's won multiple fight of the nights in the UFC, and he's a real veteran. So this was a good fight. But I think Dave outsmarted Seth with his Lethwei techniques. He threw some stuff at Seth that I don't think Seth has seen before.
Yeah, let's have a little look to see how violent it is. No, I tell you what, I was terrified because Dave had a little bit of an argument with who was it, Liam Harrison on Instagram last year, and I wrote a story. I was at a One Championship show, and I was so busy, and I just wrote a quick story saying, "Oh, Dave challenges Liam Harrison," and then I didn't realize that he was saying, "No, I challenge you to come and fight one of our Burmese guys on one of our cards." And then, yeah, a few weeks later, Matt Eaton, who you might know out of the Fight Nation, he came up to me at this event we were at, and he's like, "Oh my God, Dave Leduc, he's so angry with you. He needs you to change that story. He wasn't challenging me." And I was like, "Oh, I don't want Dave Leduc to be angry with me. That's not the guy you want to piss off."
Yeah, they're two completely different weight classes. But that's what Dave does. He defends Lethwei fervently, and he really believes it. He believes that this is the best striking martial art in the world.
Yeah, it's cool to see his passion. And as you mentioned, yeah, he did go on. Oh, nice knockdown there. Yeah, he did go on the Joe Rogan show. That was really good exposure, I imagine. Joe just signed a $100 million deal, hasn't he, with Spotify?
Yeah, it's the best example of how to do a podcast, right? And that move by Dave there was one of the things you don't really see a lot. He threw an elbow just to step inside, to use his other elbow, and also because there's the threat of headbutts that most fighters are trying to keep their distance. But Dave is good at using feints and fakes, and sometimes he throws stuff just to move in, to close the range.
Yeah, and Dave has phenomenal popularity, doesn't he, in Myanmar? He told me, his wedding was on TV, national TV there, watched by 30 million people or something.
Oh, it was absolutely crazy. The stadium, like I couldn't hear myself when Dave walked out for this fight. That's how loud it got.
Yeah, and he's got these tattoos, hasn't he, on the legs, traditional Burmese.
Yeah, nobody even does that anymore. It was the traditional Burmese tattoos of warriors, Lethwei warriors from the 40s and 50s, and yeah, he's bringing it back. Took him 27 hours, I believe, to complete the entire tattoo.
That's a lot of time. I don't
think. Yeah, and I think he did it, and he was like, "I have a flight the next day," and he just got tattooed right to the last second, and then got on the plane.
Yeah, he's quite a character, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And watching Dave, do you have any other fighters in mind you'd like to bring in, perhaps to make any other similar star power with Dave to boost the roster you're looking at?
Yeah, we're looking at bringing in any high caliber fighters from all other martial arts as well. I mean, Dave started out in Muay Thai, but he embraced Lethwei, and we're seeing that a lot. That we bring foreign athletes from other disciplines, kickboxing, Muay Thai, karate, taekwondo, and once they experience Lethwei, it's something they get addicted to. So we're looking to bring world champions from all the different martial arts and use this to be the platform where they test themselves against each other.
Yeah, and you guys are on UFC Fight Pass, is that correct?
Yeah, our two main broadcast partners are UFC Fight Pass, which gets us basically on any cell phone, tablet, computer around the world. And another key partner for us is Canal Plus. They're huge in France and in French-speaking parts of the world, so they get us into more than 30 different countries. And we have a lot of partnerships with local broadcasters too, so we are available in about 65 to 70 countries.
Awesome. And yeah, you trying to perhaps expand in Asia working with any other companies? What could you tell me about that?
Like broadcast deals?
Or more like other promotions? Are you looking to have any deals maybe to
Yeah,
co-promote?
no. The thing is, Lethwei has grown so quickly in such a short amount of time. Everybody wants to jump on a bandwagon. So we're in discussions with other mixed martial arts companies to see how they can integrate Lethwei into their shows, and and they're leaning on us for expertise and asking us for advice as they proceed to do that.
And you guys are looking to get back in. I'm just looking at this fight. It looks so fun. Sorry, I'm just. Yeah. Yeah. Run us a little bit through the rest of your schedule then for this year. It's going to be July for your next one in Cambodia, or is that the Cambodia?
July 4th, we're just going to do an event in Yangon.
Okay.
Yeah, we want to just get back to doing shows as soon as we can. So July 4th is the date we set, and then we're going to work around it. If there is a miracle cure and a vaccine by then fans are allowed in the stadium, then we'll have fans in the stadium. Otherwise, we'll just do a closed-door show. But regardless, on July 4th, we'll make sure there will be Lethwei shows again available. And then in September, we'll go back to Cambodia, do what we initially wanted to do, and then another 2 shows in Myanmar to close out the rest of the year. And then the exciting part is to start 2021 with a bang and have our show in Florida in 2021, early 2021.
That must be pretty exciting to think about, right? Considering where everything was when you started, it's growing so huge so quickly.
It is crazy. It is, and I've spoken to a lot of people, and the one recurring theme that we always talk about is this feels like where the UFC was 20 years ago, where I'm going around trying to get it legalized, where people are like, this is too much for me to put it on my TV station, and we'll see. We have already proven that there's mainstream appetite for this, and we're still continuing to grow. So the sky really is the limit.
Tell me a little bit about, is this rule correct? I might have it wrong. If you get knocked out, you've got 5 minutes for your corner to help wake you up, and then you can go and fight again. Is that right? Have I got that wrong?
So there were 2 sets of rules when Lethwei was modernized, and they introduced 2 sets of rules in '94 to try to reinvent Lethwei, and that was the other set of rules that a lot of other promoters in Myanmar are using. We don't have that specific rule in our rule set, and we also don't have a draw if the fight ends without a knockout. So those are the 2 significant differences between the 2 rule sets. When we first, sorry,
you would go to judges if it ends without a knockout.
Yeah. So you see these guys with 50 fights and 40 of them are draws. Yeah. But we don't do that. Yeah, we don't do that either. So when we first used this other rule set, we got a lot of pushback from fighters, from coaches, from people in the industry. But 4 years now, everybody has kind of accepted that this is the way forward for creating a viable Lethwei product that is appealing to the international audience.
So it was an attempt to perhaps modernize it slightly because you knew maybe it wouldn't get on UFC Fight Pass and Canal Plus if it was the way it used to be. Is that right?
Yeah, it's 2 things. One is fighter safety, and that is something we always enforce. We have the strictest level of fighter safety, and having a timeout is not the safest thing to do. And the second thing is for international broadcast content, you need to be able to fit within a certain time frame. You need to make sure it's excitement from the word go. So having extra timeouts, having fights and in draws. If you have an entire card of 10 fights all and in draws, it's going to be very anticlimactic. So that's why we've adopted this other setup of the World Lethwei rules.
Look at Dave there celebrating. Very happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what is it? This is like traditional where he's really embraced the culture, hasn't he, Dave?
Yeah. He's gone all in on the culture. This particular thing he's wearing is actually from the Kayin state in Myanmar, where most of the Lethwei fighters are from, and we supply this to all our athletes to wear when they walk out for their fights. So we brand ourselves as sports, but also culture. And as we are doing events in Myanmar, we showcase the culture of Myanmar. When we go to Cambodia, I want to integrate a lot of Khmer elements into our show as well. And so like traditional Khmer music, traditional outfits, we will adopt from the host country while we showcase our sport.
Yeah, I've been to fights, obviously, with Onglat and Sung from One Championship, the Burmese Python, and I can attest how crazy and loud the fans are from Myanmar. But is you yourself, you also started in One Championship, right? How did you end up with World Lethwei? Was it all stemming from your time with One?
I think it is. I was working in One Championship for close to 3 years. And back then there were like 10 people in the office. I was one of the first few hires. And then I moved on. I did a bit of worked in sports broadcasting for a bit. Our television station in Singapore had Euro 2016 and the Premier League, and that was huge. And then these Burmese businessmen, they knew a couple of guys from One, so they asked if anyone could come and spearhead this project of growing Lethwei around the world. And I was in between jobs at the time, so it was perfect timing. And I just packed my bags, signed the contract, and 3 days later, I was in Myanmar. I'd never been here prior to that, and I've been here for 4 years now.
4 years, wow. So you're all in as well, just like Dave. You're living there, you're living and breathing the life. Were you traveling a lot before then, or was it all just based there in Myanmar?
Yeah, no, I do a lot of travel for trying to grow the sport in the region, talking to broadcasters, sponsors, and things are moving. And you can see from our partnerships in Cambodia that there is demand for this outside of Myanmar.
So did you meet with anyone from the UFC to set up that deal with Fight Pass?
No, we spoke to the people at Fight Pass who they have an entire team that operates outside of the UFC. And yeah, they do have to work together with the UFC, but for the large part, I think they run as an independent organization.
And on the screen here, that's Robin Black, right? So you had him over for the event. How was it working with him? He's quite a cool personality, isn't he?
Robin Black is one of the most passionate and energetic people you ever meet. His love and passion for martial arts make you feel almost like you want to get into that ring and actually fight. Like the way he talks about it, it's just like a love story.
And you're gonna get him back for more events?
Yeah, for sure. He's a busy man, but whenever Robin is available, we'll definitely have him in commentate for our events.
Yeah. Again, he also looked like he was buying into everything. I saw pictures from the event. He had the traditional dress as well.
Yeah, this was crazy. So me and Robin landed on the same flight together, and it was late. We had maybe 2 days to go before the event, and he said I wanted to go get a custom suit made, and this is like a traditional Burmese suit. So there's an inner wear, and then this is the outer wear. The black thing is basically the jacket, and then they have a longi, which is kind of like a sarong or a wraparound skirt that men wear here. And yeah, so he basically wandered the streets of Mandalay, not having been in Myanmar for the first time. found a guy that could customize his suit in 24 hours, and which is the end result. So that was a cool story.
Yeah, it's awesome. We love Robin. So hopefully, yeah, see him again. And Dave's wife, obviously, also, she gets mobbed as well, doesn't she, on the streets? He was telling me, like, obviously they're not hard to miss. They're both pretty tall and they stand out in the crowd, don't they?
Yeah, they get a lot of photo requests all the time. I've taken flights back with him before, and he doesn't get a moment to rest and relax.
Yeah, it's awesome to see. Well, yeah, I guess we're just waiting for July now. July 4th, was it, right?
Yeah. July 4th is going to be the time we get back to live shows. And I think globally everybody's getting back to doing shows, and it's not going to be the same, but we've got to make the most out of the opportunity.
Yeah, did you catch the UFC shows? Maybe learn a few things on the processes. Any details that you may have picked up from those events?
Yeah, I feel like the sports in the US, like the UFC, the 4 major professional leagues there, they have kind of an advantage because all their athletes and all their staff are in a singular country, and moving between cities is a lot easier than us trying to bring in people from all over the world. But we are still going to we picked up a couple of things from them, and I know that that's how it's going to be for the foreseeable future. So we're going to still make sure that when you see a World Lethwei Championship show, you can immediately tell through the quality of the show and quality of the fights.
Yeah, it's a problem I think One Championship is experiencing. All the fighters are spread out in so many countries. How are they going to get them all into one country, and which country is it going to be? It's tough to think when they might have shows back on, but I imagine, July. Do you think that might be a reasonable target for them too?
Yeah, I have no idea because they operate in a different country and their fighters are from different countries. Like for us, Myanmar is still not accepting international flights, and that's a logistical challenge that we have to deal with. But we have enough fighters here to put on a show. But I think those are those are all challenges that in the previous world, where it's increasingly mobile and everyone gets to travel really easy and conveniently. Having a roster full of international athletes was a benefit. But we all have to work through these challenges right now.
Yeah, exactly. We're all having to be on the internet doing these interviews. Well, hopefully sometime down the road we'll be able to come to a show and we can chat then in person. That would be great. But yeah, Gerald Ng, I want to thank you very much for coming on the show and chatting a little bit about what World Lethwei Championship has coming up. You have any plugs? Tell people where they can find your content on social media.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at World Lethwei. And yeah, most of our past fights, we are releasing them free on YouTube, so you can watch full events there. And yeah, follow us on social media.
Awesome. Yeah, well, once again, cheers for chatting to us, man, and I hope to catch up with you soon.
Yeah, thank you, and you take care as well.